Con xin chào cô và xin chào tất cả các bạn. Tên là Lê Minh Trí, lớp 1A2, trường tiểu học Nguyễn Du. Hôm nay tôi sẽ giới thiệu cho các bạn một cuốn sách tên là Funny Bones. Trong cuốn sách này rất nhiều điều hay và thú vị. Các cô và các bạn hãy cùng lắng nghe và đọc nhé. This how the story begins. On the dark hill, there was a dark town. In the dark town, there was a dark street. In the dark street, there was a dark house. In the dark house, there was a dark staircase. Down the dark staircase, there was a dark cellar. And in the dark cellar, some skeletons lived. There was a big skeleton, a little skeleton, and a dark skeleton. One night, the big skeleton sat up in the bed. He scratched his skull. What shall we do tonight? He said. Let's take a dog for a walk, said the little skeleton, and frighten somebody. Good idea, the big skeleton said. So the big skeleton, the little skeleton, and the dark skeleton left the dark cellar, climbed the dark staircase, and stepped out the dark street. They walked past houses and the shops. They walked past the zoo and the police station. They went into the park. The big skeleton scratched his skull. What shall we do now? He said. Let's play on the swings. And the little skeleton said the little skeleton, and throw the stick for the dog and frighten somebody. Good idea, the big skeleton said. So the big skeleton, the little skeleton, and the dark skeleton walked around the dark pound, past the dark tennis court, and up to the dark swings. Let's play on the swings. The big skeleton and the little skeleton played on the swings. They threw the stick for the dog. Suddenly, something happened. The dog skeleton chased the stick, tripped over the bench, bumped into the tree, and ended up as a little pile of bones. Look at that, the big skeleton said. He's all come to pieces. What shall we do now? Let's put him together again, the little skeleton said. So the big skeleton and the little skeleton put the dog skeleton together again. They sang a song while they did it. The tailbone connected to the footbone. The footbone connected to the leg bone. The leg bone connected to the hip bone. The hip bone connected to the backbone. Off. When they got mixed up, as that tailbone, the little skeleton said, "Where does this one go?" said the big skeleton. When they had finished it, the big skeleton said, "The dog looks a bit funny to me." So he does, said the little skeleton. We got his tail on the wrong end, and his head fell, said the dog skeleton. At last, the dog was properly put back together again. The big skeleton and the little skeleton sang another song. This bone can walk again, can run around in the park again, can frighten people in the dark again. The big skeleton scratched his skull. What reminded me, he said. We forgot to frighten somebody. Let's do it on the way home. Then said the little skeleton, "Good idea." The big skeleton said the little skeleton, "Good idea." The big skeleton said, "I wish I had a nice little boy to frighten. I wish we had a nice old lady." So the big skeleton, the little skeleton, and the dog skeleton left the dark springs, went out into dark town, and tried to frighten somebody. The trouble was there wasn't anybody. Everybody was in bed. Even policemen in the police station were in bed. Even the animals in the zoo. Of course, the skeleton animals were awake. Squeak, 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 squeak. Snot, snot. Oink. Ear up, needle. Good evening, all who are cheeky. Buy then have a cup of tea. Pretty Polly put kettle on muzzle. Let's have a ride on the elephant. Skeleton. The little skeleton said, "Let's have word with the parrot skeleton." The big skeleton scratched his skull. "Let's keep out of the way of the crocodile skeleton, he said. When they were back in the street, and when they still could not find anybody to frighten, the big skeleton said, "What shall we do now?" Let's fighting each other. Bye-bye. The little skeleton scratched his skull. The little skeleton scratched his skull. Let's frighten each other, he said. That's better than nothing. Good idea, the big skeleton said. What a brain. I'm coming to get you. Gotcha. So after that, the big skeleton frightened the little skeleton. The little skeleton frightened the big skeleton. The big skeleton and the little skeleton frightened the dog skeleton, and the dog skeleton frightened them. Boo! Meow! Woof! Ooh! Help! Yeah! They hid around corners and frightened each other. They climbed up lamp posts and frightened each other. They jumped off dustbins and frightened each other. On their way home. And that is how the story ends. On the dark hill, there was a dark town. In the dark town, there was a dark street. In the dark street, there was a dark house. In the dark house, there was a dark staircase. On the dark staircase, there was a dark cellar. In the dark cellar, some skeleton live. They still do. The end. Con xin chào cô và xin chào tất cả các bạn.